Welcome to another edition of Jeff's DVD drinking series. I'm Jeff. These are DVDs. Let's dive right into this. So obviously I'm in a different location today. I figured I would do something a little different, switch it up, do something a little special. It's season 4 after all. It's the second, the second episode. So I figured, kind of bring it back to the basics, bring it back to what the show was originally about. Not saying that there won't still be fun, big budget craziness, but also the producer said we're running out of money. But essentially, I just wanted to just talk about DVDs, and I have some special things to show you guys today. So this will be a fun episode, but there will still be reviewing of DVDs happening. So first up, I decided to finally get around to reviewing Anchor Bay's 2001 release of Maximum Overdrive for the DVD. And if you look really close there, check out that super old DVD logo. Look how fat it is. That DVD logo hasn't really exercised in a while. It's kind of been eating a lot of burgers and French fries. So that looks ridiculous. Who made who, of course. I love that phrase. Here is the back of the DVD. It's actually not that bad looking. There's some nice pictures. Obviously, there's some nice, a nice little paragraph there. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wordy. It gets the job done. It mentions music by AC/DC. But I mean, that fucking cover, dude, with the dude, that's amazing. That's incredible that made it to the DVD. You don't normally see that kind of gore, that level of blood and gore on the fucking front of the DVD. It's absolutely amazing. If you look close enough, I think you can see the artist's name down at the bottom. So I give Anchor Bay a ton of credit for doing that. Obviously, here is the DVD. It's got the Green Goblin truck, of course. I always wanted to know why they went with that. Like, obviously, was that on purpose? Because it really does look a lot like the Green Goblin. Or was it just a face that they had created? I don't know a whole lot. Austin Wilcott, if you know anything about that, please leave it in the comment section below. Of course, it's got a picture of the chapter selection, which I love. I absolutely love that. If you're going to skimp out on the actual menu, at least put this in there so I know what the fuck I'm looking at. And it's just nice to have a paper of something. And then on the back, instead of it just being blank, they actually went and put a picture of the original fucking poster that would have been seen at the movie theater back in 1986 when Dino De Laurentiis production group released this film to the theaters. So that is absolutely awesome. Emilio Estevez, and what is her name? I think it's Laura Harrigan, I believe is her name. But I just love all those trucks down at the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully the jitters will stop my hand from moving. But there is that. So that is Maximum Overdrive. So I'll be taking a look at that menu screen here in just a moment. And then I have another one here that nobody ever really seems to talk about. I absolutely love this movie. It is a little slow moving, and it's different from a lot of the horror movies of the 70s. It definitely has that sort of big budget, almost kind of 80s feel to it, but it still has that simplified, intelligent storytelling of the late 70s. Here is John Frankenheimer's Prophecy. This is a Paramount Pictures video, of course. I love that cover. Almost kind of looking like the egg from Alien, but it's sort of this like fucked up creature. And obviously this is all about, if I can remember correctly, just, people not recycling and taking care of the earth. And it's got a whole kind of ecological terror going on, as well as, like, you know, the directors hinting at, you know, being more caring to society, you know, and that sort of thing, which is a great, it's something I could definitely get behind. I can't speak. I just can't speak today. There's the DVD, of course, Prophecy. It's pretty simple, pretty bland, nothing crazy. I guess it gets the job done, but I personally prefer my DVDs just to look a little nicer. I know you're just sticking them in the DVD player, but at this point, you know, this DVD came out in... When was this released now? This was 2006. So this was 2001. But I mean, this is 2006. It's like, come on. Like, DVDs were definitely at their height at that point. And, like, you could tell they're starting to chintz out on it. Back of the cover, of course, not that bad. Obviously, the barcode is nice and big and obnoxious. But, you know, I guess stores got to put that shit on there. Something had happened to this DVD at one point. It might have gotten wet or some moisture in it because the paper's a little fucked up, unfortunately. So hopefully you guys can see the back of this okay. So I'll hold it here for a minute and let the phone, the camera, whatever lens adjust to that. So another great film, totally recommend it. I love it. This is 1979. I don't know if I had mentioned that. No big names in this, although the woman, I don't know if they have her name. I think her name is Talia Shire. I could be wrong, but essentially the woman who played Rocky's wife from all of the Rocky films, she is in this. She plays the main protagonist, or I think I'm saying that wrong. But anyway, she plays the main hero's wife. I can't speak today. Next, I promised that I would show the Prophecy film. So obviously, here is that. So there we have the main screen. Obviously, there's the wife from Rocky. Yeah, not gonna lie, this is pretty boring. This is pretty dull. The whole screen is just kind of one solid red color. Not a whole lot going on. So you have play, you have setup. Let's take a look at setup. You have your audio options, your subtitle options, and that's it. You get hit with some more red. Obviously, there's the main character, the hero. And then you have your scene selection. Let's take a look at that. They're labeled, they're numbered, and they're pictured. But see what I mean? A lot of times the pictures can kind of like give the movie away depending on the scene that they use. You know, which I don't like that. But if you have to use it, you know, obviously you have to use it. But, you know, it just kind of sucks because, like, already me just showing you those pictures, like, I slightly ruined the movie for you guys if you haven't seen this. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. It's pretty fucking awful, as you could tell. But that's the name of the game. Shitty DVDs is what I do. Shitty DVDs is what I review. Alright, got the Anchor Bay logo, of course. Let's turn this up a little bit here. Alright. There we go. Yeah! Fuck yeah! Now that's a fucking intro. Looks a little simple, but it's got some fucking AC/DC. Can't go wrong with that. Of course, this font is really boring and bland. They could have done something a little better with that. There's the audio setup here, of course. That was pretty neat, little cutscene. So you got Dolby Digital 5.0. If you have the surround sound, you can use that. Then you go directly to the movie or resume, you know, and then you got main menu. So let's go back to the main menu. Let's go up to chapter selections first. So we'll hit that, or I'll hit that. Once again, not the best chapter selection. At least they're numbered, and at least they are listed. Like I said, on the DVD itself, there was the cardboard, insert that told you, that showed you a picture at least. So you could use that to reference this. The cool thing I will say about this, though, is it doesn't ruin the movie. And I actually kind of like this. As bland and boring and shitty as it look, at least it doesn't spoil the movie for you. Yeah, you can read the title and say Into the Sewer, Back from the Dead, Heavy Artillery. But if you never saw the movie before, you wouldn't really know what exactly was happening. So it does get the job done, and I would actually prefer this over what they normally have, which is pictures. But if they're going to have the pictures, at least have the numbers or something. Like, how the hell am I supposed to know what the hell's going on? So that's the chapters. Obviously, we got the extras. Let's take a look at the extras. There's a trailer, and then Stephen King bio. Obviously, this was written for the screen and directed by Stephen King. So, of course, Stephen King's going to kind of get the, upper hand, I guess, with the special features. Another good AC/DC song. Alright, let's take a look at the Stephen King bio. Let's see what they got on there. So, wow, look at that. You get slapped in the face with a picture of him. And then you can go forward, and it just tells you a bunch of stuff about his work and his television career and just, I guess, various things that inspired him. So that is pretty cool. So there you have it. That is that was the Maximum Overdrive DVD. Overall, these DVDs really aren't that great. They're good movies, and there's definitely positives to both of them, but overall, they're pretty bad. So the cool thing that I have to show you guys today is Nintendo's Game Boy Advance videos. Or video cartridges, per se. They're almost like miniature VHS tapes. Now, I'll get to the titles in just a moment here. Obviously, for those who may not know, this would be a Game Boy Advance Game Boy player. This obviously would be used to play Game Boy games, as well as Game Boy Color games, and as well as Game Boy Advance games. And you would just take it and insert it in the top, and then you would power it on, and there you go. Now, let me give you a little bit of information. Pull out my cheat sheet here. Game Boy Advance Video is a format for putting full color, full motion videos onto Game Boy Advance cartridges. These videos are playable using the Game Boy Advance system, screen, and sound hardware. These video cartridges were manufactured by Majesco Entertainment, yada yada yada. The cartridges themselves were developed by 4Kids Entertainment subsidiary 4Kids Technology. The video cartridges are colored white for easy identification and are sold as Game Boy Advance video packs. And it offers the same resolution as a standard Game Boy Advance games. So there you go. They are heavily compressed. However, they were able to fit full films on here, like the Shrek film. I think I've come across the Incredibles film, and a lot of the other films that kind of came out in that, I guess, 2000s kind of time frame, mid to late 2000s time frame. Some people would complain about the sound maybe not being the best. However, short length cartoons that were like 19 minutes or less, did seem pretty good, especially when compared to what was on TV at the time. compared to, you know, the digital Comcast and, you know, Netflix and what we get now. It's like high definition. But back in the late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of people were still using old school TVs and old school technology. So this format actually looked pretty damn good. Not to mention, you're watching it on a screen that's smaller than a cell phone. So, I mean, you don't really need high resolution that much. It's pretty small. It's going to get the job done one way or another. Obviously, there's a lot, you know, being able to put full motion video or actual, you know, full movies into something this tiny, you know, I think is extremely impressive. And the fact that something like this even exists just shows, you know, people were thinking outside the box when looking at a device like this. They were saying, well, you know, we're not just going to play games on this. How about we give them something to watch as well? You know, and, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the Shrek films and, you know, some of the Pixar films. You know, there's been better ones than, like, The Incredibles, you know, but it was a pretty good movie. But the fact that they exist, though, and that you can watch the movie on this is really good. I don't have any of the movies to show you guys what the graphics looks like, but I could definitely show you these ones. Here I have a Nickelodeon one. This is SpongeBob SquarePants Volume 1. So you get a couple episodes from the first season, I believe, of SpongeBob SquarePants. And then over here, you have, this is the Cartoon Network Volume 1 collection. And this is a collection of Cartoon Network shows, TV shows, or cartoons that were popular at the time. So I figured a part of the DVD drinking series, it would be pretty cool to show you guys what the menu screens look like and what these look like in general. And then we'll compare them to DVDs. Alright, so up first is the Cartoon Network collection. So obviously there it is. You have, you know, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Johnny Bravo, that one show, The Grim Tales or something. And then I always forget, what was that dog? I love that show with the dog. I guess I could just press start and find out. Yeah, Courage the Cowardly Dog. That was the, so we have that there. The Grim Adventures, and then Johnny Bravo. Actually select it. And then there's also a brightness level that you can adjust. And then you hit B for back. You know, it's nice that it actually has chapter screens, and it actually has, like, animated menus, and there's neat background, and it's colorful. So now that I know what the fuck I'm doing, I could show you guys this, but that's the Cartoon Network one. Unfortunately, my camera would not focus on this part of the footage for some reason, but obviously you guys can sort of see the chapters and the, you know, the menu screen. So, just figured to give you guys a quick little idea of what all this looks like. Sorry for the awful footage here. Essentially, all in all, in closing, this video format's not that bad. They actually put a lot of work, a lot of technology, and a lot of effort into something so small. Now, I'm not going to go, you know, I'm not going to go ahead and say, oh, these are better than DVD, because obviously they're not. But would I say in certain situations, are these better menu screens? Absolutely. Are they better animated screens? Absolutely. Are the chapter screens set up better? Absolutely. It took me a little bit of while to figure out how to use the controls because it's been forever since I actually messed around with these. I pretty much picked them up for about $1 or $2 a piece, which is pretty damn cheap for anything video game related nowadays. But I actually picked these up specifically for this episode because I figured this would be something really cool and really neat to, you know, show you guys. And look at that, they even fit in your pocket perfectly. I'd like to see DVD do that. So, anyhow, this has been another special edition episode, special DVD drinking series. There will be plenty of drinking and hijinks for the next episode, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys this stuff because who knows when the hell I would ever get a chance to talk about it again. So hopefully this episode wasn't too long. Hopefully this episode was entertaining. And if you didn't know, now you know. Have a great rest of your day and or night.